having that kind of studio control, what kind of things do you think that people of color, man, can like, for, who may not want to be necessarily working behind the camera, who may not want to act, but may want to be involved in that process and like, decide like which projects get funded, which, how they're promoted. From your experiences in the industry, what kind of things can young people of color do to kind of like train themselves for that kind of track?
What you can do is you can start being a visionary. You can start saying to yourself, this is what I can do. Start writing your goals down. Start saying that this is how I want to do. Start talking to people who have money. Move yourself into circles of people who got money, because guess what? Spike Lee does his movies on his own. I got a movie right now that we raising some money for.
No doubt.
The studio's not even gonna know about this movie until they know about the movie.
Right.
And I say, man, I've done this movie. I've raised this $10 million.
Right.
I shot the movie. Here's all my actors that I already have attached to it. Here's the product, distributed, and I'm only giving you 10%.
Right. Right.
And they gonna not tell me no, because they're money hungry people.
That's right.
So if you take your vision to the next level and saying, I can do what I really want to do in this life. I don't have to be subject to the studio, even though, man, the studio checks are great checks.
Right, right.
Don't, man, I'm telling you, scripts sell.
Right.
But like I said, I got my scripts to sell, and then I got my other ones to do myself. Right. And as a writer, you got to be diversified. Never hold on to something. Never take something so personal where you feel like it's only for you, because if you're doing stuff only for yourself, then it will be only for yourself. You got to give the people what they want and what they need, not what you perceive they want need. You got to know the needs of the people, and you got to meet what their needs are.
Most def. Just a couple more questions here for you, man. When you write, man, what's your creative process like?
Man, you know what? When I write, I get a vision of something, or something crosses my plate. For instance, somebody went to a class reunion, right?
Right.
And they're telling me about a class reunion. I just thought to myself, man, that'd be a funny movie.
True.
Like, it's one of them white kind of movies,
Right.
Funny movie. So I thought to myself, man, I bet you if this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened, that'd be real funny.
True.
So I sit there. My creative process is writing it down in a paragraph form. It's called the query letter for the industry. You write it in a query. That's a one page of what you believe your movie's about. I just conceptualize it. Just sit there and conceptualize it. I write an outline. I ask God to write through me, and then I pen a script.
No doubt.
And then after that script is done, I sit there and I wait on the right time to get rid of it.
How long do you think from the time that you start with that query letter to a final script? I know it probably varies from project to project.
It varies. It does.
On average.
On average, if you're dedicated to it, you're dealing with about 3 months.
Okay, for sure.
About 2 months. I've written scripts fairly fast because I've done it for a long time, but you're dealing with about 2 to 3 months, because you really got to refine things. Your first draft is never a great draft, Sometimes it is, but you never know. You know what I mean? So those type of things, that's the process of doing it. And the best thing for you to do is to make sure you always write with an outline. Make sure you always know where you're going. Make sure you always know the title of your movie, your ending. I always start with the title, My Class Reunion. Like, my class reunion is still not done, because I had 3 other projects I had to write in between time that were paying projects. So those things I kick out fast. I'm getting paid to do it. Man, you're going to get your script in a month, 2 weeks, guaranteed. I got to get paid. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's what you got to know, your middle, beginning, and ending, and you got to know your title, and then you got to know who's going to be good in your movie, and you got to know what kind of movie this compares to. You got to know the figures on that movie. You got to know what to say when somebody asks you what your movie's about. You need a log line, query letter, synopsis, script, then you're ready to go.
No doubt, no doubt.
And looking at, like, films, videos, things like that, why do you think that Chicago is such a great backdrop, visually, for presenting, like, different stories and things like that, where it's been used a lot of different times in a lot of different environments, a lot of different contexts. What do you think is unique about Chicago that, is that can be presented visually?
Wow. Well, it's interesting. The interesting thing about Chicago, just as you said, is that, we're pretty much a city of neighborhoods.
Yes.
You know, and you know, some people have said that the earlier Mayor Daley really wanted to keep a lot of areas within the city, you know, segregated or segmented.
Yes.
A byproduct of that.
To which he did a fantastic job.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
It's been one of those things which has kind of hindered us in being recognized as an international city.
Right.
One of the byproducts of that is that you've got a lot of different people in a lot of different areas who, you know, have made their communities look a completely different way.
Right.
And things are a lot more open now to a large degree, I think, than they were, you know, earlier. Of course, you know, certain places you go, you just will still, you know, risk your life.
Right,
but
right.
in general, it's the kind of thing where, you know, you can go to different parts of the entire city, you know, and get a completely different feeling,
Yes.
you know, an ambience. I mean, you
Yes.
can really shoot anything in the universe here in Chicago. You just simply need to go far out enough.
Right.
And it's, you know, there's just so much diversity in a lot of different, you know, areas you know, here in the city and in the outskirts areas. So it's really, really amazing. It's just there's just so many different areas and different places that, you know, you could make Chicago look like. And it's just great. It really, really is great. And then, of course, you know, we've got some of the best architecture in the world here in the lakefront. It's just a joy. You know, I love the piece that the Millennium Park area. It's one of the most amazing places and pieces of architecture in the city, because everyone who goes there, you know, no matter what their age, they just instantly become a child because they just are just completely open because of how beautiful the architecture is. You know, the bubble. People go under there and they're looking, and everyone is, you know, all like this. And then, of course, just in general, the Millennium Park area, it's just a really joy. I have to say that that's probably done, that one piece of architecture in that one area is probably done more to diffuse what the earlier Daley did, you know, than any other, you know, thing which has probably occurred in the city.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Very well said, man. Very well said.
Chicago is the city of gangsters. It's a city of true poverty. It's the city of true segregation.
Yes.
So when you talk about segregation, poverty, you talk about gangster. That's what the world is all about right now. So you got to talk about Chicago.
No doubt. No doubt.
You know, we live in the most gangster city, and the mayor's the biggest gangster.
You got that right.
You better believe that.
Right.
So you know, Hoover, the mayor Daley.
Right.
That's y'all need to be looking for Daley and Ryan and all them. You know what I mean? But thank God we got some good people to come into place. Jesse Jackson's sons is doing real good. One of them is a good personal friend of mine. For sure. Very, very good brother. And I look forward to seeing what Chicago's going to turn into, and hopefully I'll be at the forefront of the change.
No doubt,
man, as well as you and everybody else.
Most definitely, man.
And I know that you probably will have a long list. But if I gave you like just an unlimited budget, you had to pick one. What story would you tell? What film would you make? What video would you do? What would you try and get across visually if you had one shot?
Well, to be honest, really, I would love to do the Marcus Garvey story as like an epic, because
long time coming on that one.
Yeah, because he's a really interesting character. You know, and I'd probably do it in like one of these Martin Scorsese-esque, Ten Commandment-esque type of, you know, on that type of a scale, because he's a really interesting character, and some of the things that he tried to do, you know, and his, you know, supposed downfall, and a lot of these kinds of things. I mean, like, he really did get further probably than anyone else in the 20th century, you know, to really establishing some sort of independent, you know, state. And then beyond that, just him as a character, I think it's something that people of all races would be really, really interested in. I mean, everyone, you know, is interested when they see, you know, films about, you know, great leaders and everything. They're always, you know, interested in the dynamics of power and things like this. And I think just he's a really interesting character. So probably that story.
You know what? If I had an unlimited budget, I really would love to do the Harriet Tubman story, because I have no idea how this woman did what she did.
True.
That's a journey of truth. I have no idea.
True.
So if I had the money, I would say, man, let's go recreate the slaves moving from the south to the north, the emotion, the feelings.
Right.
Let's find out how she died, what happened during Juanetta.